Just like the temptation story last week, we always get the story of the transfiguration of Jesus on the second week of Lent. And that means they're important readings. And I know it's a difficult set of readings. Jesus is up in heaven with Moses and Elijah in the first reading about the but they're important readings to understand for the spiritual life. That's why the church insists that we get them every year. Little story and a couple little points. About 2 months ago, I did something I rarely do, and that is go on vacation. I love being here, so I really have nowhere to go. So my brother and his wife and I went to the Caribbean for a week. I was late getting back because of the snowstorm coming down Sunday. I never miss Mass, never. But you learn something on a trip like that. On the way down, the plane was full of excitement. I mean, everybody's in a good mood. You're getting away, you're going to be in heaven for a week. The Caribbean is 90 degrees, your feet are in the sand after all the mess we deal with here. The plane ride down was great. On the way home, everybody's just in a bad mood. I'm going to Chicago, it's -2, there's a foot of snow. People complaining with the stewardesses, how come I can't get this? It's the same length of flight. But boy, it seemed like 20 hours coming home. Because nobody wants to come home. You'd rather stay in heaven. I'd rather stay in the Caribbean. It's warm, it's nice. But it doesn't work like that. You have to come home and make some money so you can afford to go on vacation. That's how life works. It's the same for all of us. And that's the powerful message of today's scripture. They say, geez, we're up in heaven here. We're with Moses and Elijah. They're in heaven. Let's build some boots here to keep this permanent. And Jesus says, no, it doesn't work like that. We got to go back down the mountain. But we want to stay here. It doesn't work like that. You got to go down and face Good Friday before we get to heaven. That's just the way it works. Without suffering, without death, there can be no resurrection. Most of us are old enough to understand. The little kid here, he doesn't get that yet. Most of us do. There has to be death before there can be real life. That's just, and there's suffering and sacrifice that are all part of life. The hard parts of life, they all lead to the ultimate goal, that is heaven. It's not easy, but you can't stay up in the clouds. It don't work like that. But that helps us understand the sacrifices we make during Lent, the suffering we go through during life are not pointless, useless, or meaningless. They're all part of the path to eternal life. And instinctively, we know that. But maybe we don't think about it. Tonight, they'll announce the teams are going to play in March Madness with a chance to win the national championship. Those players who will get the chance to play, especially the kids from the smaller schools that never get on TV, they have spent their whole lives going to camps and programs and getting special coaching from them. They have given blood, sweat, and tears, maybe to get one game on national TV. But without that practice, they're not going to win any games. That's just the way life works. The suffering and sacrifice that they pay, maybe to get on national TV, one game. It's a price they're willing to pay. And you and I do it in our own families, and we don't remember it. It was Monday, back at Sacred Heart's Church in Southside. I don't want to mention the name of the funeral, but you know the name. One of the Kennedy-like families of Scranton. 14 kids, I believe. And the son gets up and he gives the eulogy. He's a very good friend of mine. And he says, some of you don't know this, but my sister left her career. And I think it's a lucrative career. So she could stay home and take care of mom. Because mom was either go to a nursing home, or if somebody had to give up their job to stay home and take care of mom. Like for 5 years, this person went without making any money for her family. Now, that's a sacrifice. Professionally, it's suffering. The people clapped for a long time. Because they understood that sacrifice kept mom home. And that's hard to do. That is hard. But without the suffering, there can be no resurrection. And notice the story in which Jesus tells us. Jesus understood they needed the the appetizer of heaven to get through the suffering. And that's what Eucharist is supposed to give us. There is hope that in the end, when I die, we're having a party for Sister today. Does Sister need a party? Well, Sister doesn't need a party. I'm in charge here. But I said, we need to treat Sister special for one day to thank her for all the sacrifices she makes for us. You need that. Those of you who are married might be going to the Mass with the bishop this year for the 25th or 50th. Get your picture with the bishop. Do you need that? Yeah, it's nice to be thanked. It's nice to be celebrated. All the mundane sacrifices of 50 years of marriage, you deserve a picture with the bishop. And the bishop understands that. He poses with everybody. See how the scriptures work? I do ask you to do one little homework assignment. The next time you go into the cathedral, now they have hanging over the altar for the first time a big cross hung on like fish wire. That was not there before they did these renovations. And if you look through the cross to the back wall, you see the story that we get today in the scriptures, the Transfiguration. Jesus up there with Moses and Elijah and the men falling to the ground. It's a magnificent picture. But you have to see through the cross, which is there, to get to the back picture where Mary is here. It's always through the cross, suffering, and sacrifice, that we find life. And only through the cross that we find life. It's a hard message to hear and live, but it is truth. Let us stand, my friends.